What's good, peeps? Thank you as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. I was going to start the video by talking about this franchise belt and what the WBC are doing, but what's the point? What's the what do you want me to say? I don't know what to say. A few people tweeted me and said, Ade, fucking hell, you got to make a video on this. And I don't know what to say. I mean, I've been telling people for the best part of 3 years, I think the WBC are a fucking joke. I mean, the belts they create, the diamond belt, the money belt, the pearl belt, the franchise belt, interim, regular, international. I'm completely tired when it comes to the WBC. The WBA are a joke as well. I think the WBO and IBF are probably the best, which is why, by the way, every time I make a video about Anthony Joshua, I know I used to anyway when he had the belts, and I always mention that Anthony Joshua's got 4 belts, and I always mention the IBO. And a lot of people say, IBO, stop mentioning it, it's crap. It's not, because it doesn't do shit like this, right? Because of what the WBC and WBA are doing, I'm telling you now, it's almost given a bit more credit to the IBO. Do I think the IBO will become one of the big 4 and it become a big 5? No, but I think we have to start giving credit to them because at least they govern themselves properly. For now, anyway. I think the best belt out there right now is the IBF. Anyway, this isn't about belts because I can't even begin to talk about this crap. In fact, before we go, so what Jermell Charlo right now is, what, the full champion? Is he the regular or the interim? I'm so confused about it also. If anyone wants to explain to me, please do, because I can't even be bothered to read about this shit. But this isn't about that. This is about Canelo, GGG, Kovalev, Callum Smith. Very interesting times for Canelo. We were, or at least Golovkin was hoping that he was going to fight Canelo September. That doesn't look like it might happen right now. And I can only think the reason it's not happening is because of money, right? I mean, the first 2 fights, GGG brought a lot to the table. So he brought a lot to the table. He was the reigning champion. He had all the belts. He was the feared. He was undefeated. And he could make arguments, right? He could say, you know what, I want this, I want that. I think I heard the first split between them was something like 65-35. The second one was 50-50. What do you think GGG is going to be offered now? And I heard the first time round, by the way, he was offered 80-20. 80-20 as a champion. What do you think is going to be offered now? I mean, they might be taking the piss and doing something like 85-15. And I guess for Golovkin, I mean, what do you do? The 15 that they're offering him is probably more than Golovkin will get for fighting anyone else. Fact. So what do you do? I mean, do you take the money and just close your eyes and grit your teeth and hope you get revenge? Or does your ego become too big and you say, no, fuck it? At this stage, I think Gennady Golovkin has to say fuck it and take that money. But I understand that he won't, and that's the reason why the fight's being stalled. The problem for him is that Canelo's in a situation right now where he has options. Options at, it looks like, 3 different weight classes. I think personally that he should fight the winner of Andrade versus Selecki. I think Andrade, if he wins, deserves that shot. Obviously, there is Charlo. Charlo's fighting against, is it Brandon Adams? If he wins, maybe he gets the shot. So their options at 160. Billy Joe Saunders, I don't know what he's doing, 160, 168. So that's going to be part for a second. But we are hearing strong whispers about negotiations at least happening or maybe even starting between Callum Smith. But the name that Oscar De La Hoya and even Canelo himself has mentioned recently is Sergey Kovalev at 175. What? Whatever VADA are doing with Canelo, they need to up their game. You can't be a guy, I don't think, at 160, and remember, we're not talking deep into 160. He's not been in 160 for 3 or 4 years. He's only been at 160 for what, 2 years. You're talking about a guy at 160 who's saying, I want to jump to 175 and fight Kovalev. I'm sorry. As soon as the fighter starts doing all that kind of talk, I'm starting to think that VADA are not doing their test hard enough. You're good and you're strong and you can box, but are you taking the piss? Are you taking the piss? If Callum Smith said he wants to fight Kovalev, fair dues. But Canelo, small Canelo. Canelo's not big. Canelo's small in height. He wants to fight Kovalev. He's that confident that he somehow can beat Kovalev. Kovalev's a very good boxer, by the way. I think we saw that in the first Andre Ward fight, and I think we also saw that in his rematch with, who did he fight again? Alvarez. It was Alvarez, yeah. I was thinking it Barrera, but Alvarez, right? We saw that he can box. We all know what power this man possesses. Yes, he's a bit old right now, but I still think there's a couple of years of good boxing left in Kovalev. And Canelo's saying he wants to fight that guy. Boy, sorry, something's up. Something's up, people. You know, I'm saying it here first. I know this guy does all year round drug testing, but something's up. Something's up. Ideally, again, Andrade. I would love to see him versus Callum Smith. Yes, he had the fight against Rocky Fielding where he won one of those regular belts, but a legit belt against Callum Smith will cement him as the pound for pound number one easy. I mean, there'll be no arguments whatsoever. So I like the Andrade fight first, the Callum Smith fight second, and I don't want the Kovalev fight just because I want to see Kovalev versus Yard. I mean, hearing that that's been agreed again, it didn't have to go to purse bids, so I want to see that fight. But I don't know. I mean, if you're Kovalev and you get a call to fight Canelo, I mean, you'll take it. You'll think, what? This kid at 160, have they forgot who I am? I mean, put a bit of respect on my name, please. But as for GGG, look, I don't know what he's going to do. The right thing for him to do, I think, is chase down Andrade and Billy Joe Saunders. Billy Joe Saunders has a belt at 168. Go to 168, chase Billy Joe Saunders. Or, I think, take the riskier fight against a slick southpaw boxer in Andrade. I say go for legacy now and try and win a belt at another weight class. Go for Billy Joe Saunders. But what do you guys think about this Canelo Kovalev shit? Suspicious, people. I'm sorry, suspicious. I mean, no. There's something going on there. What do you think? Let me know. Peace.